Hi everyone, I'm Stani, mindful parenting teacher. Hope you've seen my other two videos that I've posted in the last few weeks. One was about responding rather than reacting, and the second one was about how to be more present with your children. Today I'm doing the last video of this 3 parts videos on mindful parenting, and I'm sharing the things that I think are the most important when it comes to parenting children mindfully. And that last video today, I think it's the most important one. It's gonna focus on self-care and self-compassion. I think these two things are crucial for every parent, regardless if your child's got special educational needs and disability or not. It really is a must. But first of all, before I talk more on this, I want to say what is not what we currently do and what is not being self-compassion. So every time when you judge yourself about your parenting skills or things that you've done, said, you've got the inner critic coming on board, and he's saying you're not good enough, you're bad mom, you're just not good at that at all. And that's really common for all of us. We constantly feel we're not doing good enough job. We compare ourselves to all the other parents and moms especially, and seemingly everyone does a better job than us. And that's so crucial for you to actually minimize your suffering as a parent, to start to recognize that inner critic. It's always going to be there. It's part of us. It's part of our brains for evolutionary reasons. We always notice the negative things first and they stick to us. It's called negativity bias. So that's something we don't really have that much control, because we're always going to notice when we haven't done something right or according to our high often expectations. So noticing that is really the key here. So every time when you start hearing that awful mean inner critic just drumming in the same drum in your head, you've got the choice there. You've noticed it, and you've got the choice to listen to it and believe it or not. And I really encourage you to start saying to the inner critic, I'm not going to believe in you because that's not true. And every time when you think you've not done a good enough job, or you're not good enough a mom for whatever reasons, just think about all the things that actually you've done right. Just think back of your day, like you managed to get them to school, you've cooked dinner, they've been cleaned, you probably play with them, they're safe, you've practiced homework with them. There's so many things that you actually do right. You take them to play dates on weekends or after school. Tons of things that you do right every day, but just goes unnoticed. And every time when we react, for example, or we shout at the children, we start feeling awful and we beat ourselves up. And that's the inner critic, and that's all we focus on. Literally, is that one thing, and we're gonna keep focusing on it. Or if the children had a meltdown somewhere outside in a playground or event, and then we feel we have to control them, we feel we have to do something, otherwise we're bad parents and people judge us. But often, actually, it's us we are the ones who judge ourselves the most, much more than anybody else. So noticing that inner critic is a really key aspect of just being less harsh on you. I really encourage you to do that, because we are all doing the best we can with the information we've got, and we've all got our best intentions at heart. And sometimes good enough, it's good enough, really. Lowering our expectations as well could be, an option sometimes, because there's so much pressure, like the pressure to keep a career going, the pressure to be calm with the children and to raise, well-behaved children, the pressure to provide good food, to clean the house, to look great, to be the perfect supportive wife. The list is endless. And if we try to keep on top of that, it's just impossible. We're going to burn out, or we're going to keep being so critical to ourselves and really unhappy as a result. So actually, that leads us to self-care, because self-care is how can you look after your own needs and really prioritize your own needs so much more than you normally do. And I work with lots of moms, and they keep saying the same thing. I put myself at the back of the list. My needs are not as important. It's everyone else needs to take priorities, and then it's my turn. But of course, because you've got so many things on your list, it never gets to your turn really. And another example, speaking to his mom, she's got 3 children under 8, so you know it's quite hectic. And I said to her, well, what are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing? And she couldn't think of any hobbies. She said, well, I'm a mom, I don't have hobbies. But you were not always a mom, and before you were a mom, you had things that you were interested in. So connecting to those things you were interested in is really crucial. You need to be on top of your needs. You need to look after yourself, because if you don't, then it's really difficult to respond, and it's really difficult to be calm and patient, and you burn out eventually. So I always say that if you imagine a glass full of water, if that glass is empty, you just can't pour out of an empty glass. And we are the glasses. Our children need our glasses to be reasonably full with water, whatever it is. Because if they're not full, then we've got nothing to give. We're so exhausted, overworked and stressed that we just can't do it. And we're not superwomans, we're not super powerful creatures that can just keep going like this endlessly. You need to look after your own needs. So just after you watch this video, take a moment to really write down on a piece of paper, what are the things that you used to do before you had the children? Things that you enjoyed, whatever they are, even the smallest thing. The things that you enjoy now, maybe your hobbies changed. Just really kind of connect with those needs. What are the things that really fill your glass, that fulfill you, make you feel good? And then just make sure you've got time for at least one of those, at least half an hour every day. I know this might sound like a lot of time, but you just have to prioritize it, and it's either half an hour looking after yourself and then managing everything else in a better way, or just being constantly frazzled. And a key thing, as I said, I think in the previous video, it's if you've got too much on, and you can't physically find the time, then maybe start looking into your list and dropping stuff. When you've got too many things on your plate, that it's very difficult to be in a good place at all for anybody. So asking for help, saying no more often, just looking at how can you cut down all those chores. And then finding that time for yourself, that is so important. And also being much more compassionate toward yourself. So what is compassionate? So imagine you've got a friend that is struggling, it's in difficulty. So what do? We go when we are open, we give them the open space for them to share. We give them hugs maybe. We say we're there for them. We listen mindfully. We don't criticize them, do we? So imagine doing all those things to yourself. So when things are hard, you actually say to yourself, yeah, it's really hard at the minute, but it's gonna get better. You might want to give yourself this hug that I was talking in the previous video, and the mindful movement, because that releases oxytocin, and then naturally you're just gonna feel so much better. And at the end of the day, you're your best friend. So just taking the time to acknowledge you're struggling, and just giving yourself that support, giving yourself that space. So maybe you need, if you really are struggling, maybe you need a bit more space than usual. You need to get family and friends involved to help you with the childcare, and you go for a nice big walk or whatever you're interested in, swim, yoga, anything really. So yes, just constantly checking with yourself, what is it that I need right now to feel a bit better? And sometimes there is not that much we can do. Things are just not easy, especially when you have children with special education needs. And I know this very well, as I've said before. I think my son is autistic, and it's really, really hard. And I have to find myself constantly just going, oh my God, why is this so hard? This is really hard. But by not criticizing myself and giving myself that space and that bit of like love, that's all I can do at that moment. He will always be the way he is. I can't change that, but I can definitely change my reaction and the way I approach the difficult situation. And instead of saying, oh, I didn't handle that well, I'm such a bad mom, I'm a failure, I say, well, maybe I didn't handle that well, I lost it a little bit because it's so hard. I don't know really how to deal with a lot of the things he does, and I'm a human being, and it's allowed. Um, and it's okay. Next time I'll do better at that, and that's how it is. Every day is a new day and new opportunity to respond rather than react, and to be more compassionate towards yourself, but also as the children. They, you know, as difficult as they come across a lot, they actually struggle themselves, and they can't help most of the times the things that they do. So just kind of sometimes give them that like hug and be like, oh buddy, I know it's not easy for you as well. And just that love and compassion goes so far. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. But there's a beautiful meditation that's called Love and Kindness that I'm gonna lead any moment now, and I really encourage you to do. If you find it that you constantly criticizing yourself and your inner critic is really powerful and controlling you, this is something that I encourage you to do every day. This meditation, it's about 10 minutes or less, and it will really help you to cultivate a bit more of that compassion and kindness towards yourself. Okay, so let's get ready and just adapt our usual meditation posture where we're sitting upright with shoulders straight but not stiff, and kind of supported by the back of the chair, and just hands in your lap. And close your eyes if that's comfortable, or just lower your gaze in front of you. And just notice how it feels to have your feet on the floor, and your whole body being fully supported by the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Notice those points of contact. And really give your body up to gravity. Just letting go. And now bring your awareness to all the different sensations in your body and how it feels, without judging it as good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, just noticing it with a curiosity. What does it feel like? You can explore what the sensations are in your feet, in your lower legs, knees, upper legs, buttocks and pelvis, tummy, stomach area, chest, the back, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, arms, hands, your neck, the back of the head, the face, and the top of the head. Now I want you to bring your attention to the sensations of the breath in your body. Just noticing where you can feel the breath the most. Maybe it's in your tummy, or in your chest, or tip of the nose, or the throat. Just notice where you can feel the breath the most, and rest your awareness there for a few moments, just like a butterfly rests on a flower. And if your mind starts wandering, just notice where it's gone and gently bring it back to the breath. Just keep your attention on your breath, noticing all the sensations of the breath. And now I'm going to start repeating words wishing yourself well, and I'd like you to repeat them as well, silently, and notice how it goes. May I be safe and free from suffering. May I be happy and healthy. May I have ease of being. Just notice how it feels repeating those words to yourself, and even if it feels a bit strange at first, that's okay. Just being aware of it. And now I'm going to encourage you again to repeat the same words one more time. May I be safe and free from suffering. May I be happy and healthy. May I have ease of being. And let those words just drop into you. Just like dropping a pebble into your lake or a well. Just let them really sink into you. May I be safe and free from suffering. May I be happy and healthy. May I have ease of being. And now bring your awareness back to the sensations of the breath in your body. Following every breath in and out. Noticing how it feels. And now let's expand this to include all the sensations of your body as well. Again, noticing how it feels. And in a minute, I'm going to bring this meditation to a close. So gently wriggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So yeah, that was like 8 minutes. Definitely something you could do every day. 8 minutes is nothing. And you could use different phrases. The ones I used are the standard ones, but you can always say maybe free from anxiety or anything else that you find difficult at the minute. So yes, have a go at that and see how it goes.